This is Nourish You, the podcast where we question the traditional model of dieting and nutrition and focus on choice, fun, and health for the whole mind and body. It's all on the table and it all counts. I'm Jana, Rush Your Dietitian, and your host. Can't wait to kind of dive in and just hear your take on making health win. But, first, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, first off, let me say thank you for inviting me on. I'm very, very honored and blessed to be here. This is really cool. It's quite an honor to be here on Health Win. So thank you. Thank you for the invite.
Yeah.
So again, like I said, my name is Mike Guido. I am the owner and CEO of Guido's Martial Arts Academy here in Clovis. It's a martial arts school that specializes in teaching kids and their families. So that's what it's my passion to teach martial arts, and I started at a very young age. I think I was 7. So back in '86, I watched this movie. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with it, but it's called The Karate Kid. And so watched that show, and
Yes.
I was super pumped about it, and so I was a little bit of a chubby kid when I was younger, so I would get picked on a little bit. So my mom's friend, her husband taught martial arts out of his garage. And so she's like, "Hey, you want to start karate?" I'm like, "Yeah, let's do it." And so I was super pumped up about that. And I even had the little headband and I was at the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I started. I started out, in a garage, and I moved to a bigger school over the years. And it was just one of those things where I just liked doing it. I wasn't really a very athletic kid. So karate was, it was kind of like, I don't want to say taboo, but it was very, very, it was done in silence back then. It wasn't really as mainstream as it is now. So we didn't really talk about it. You didn't really tell anybody. And so nobody ever really even knew I did martial arts for as long as I did. So, but yeah, every week I would just go to class, and probably wasn't that good, but it was super. It was fun for me. I had other friends that was doing, different sports. I took my hand in maybe a little bit of, I think in like 5th or 6th grade, I did baseball and tried out wrestling, but karate was more my niche. So yeah, I've been doing that ever since. And then about let's see, what year are we in? About 4.5 years ago, opened up my own school. I was teaching with my original instructor at a school, and we just had a difference in focus, a difference in vision on what we wanted to do. What I wanted to do was have a martial arts academy that was based upon life skills. So teaching children how to be successful in life, not necessarily a focus on beating people up, right? So we had a little bit of a different mindset. So yeah, about 4 years ago in 2016, branched off. We started off with about 60 students who came over with us. Our entire teaching team came over, and yeah, it's been great ever since. We've grown a lot. We do a great job with our students. They have a blast. And what's great is we start teaching the kids, and then the parents decide, hey, I want to get into that. So I think we've over the last few years, we've probably promoted a couple of karate parents. So one gentleman started with his kids, and then the other lady who started with her kids, now she's one of our instructors. So
how cool.
Pretty cool. It's pretty, I'm pretty blessed to be able to live this life.
Yeah. Why do you think martial arts was something that just kind of stuck with you versus all these other, ways to keep your body active? What do you think it brought for you that other, like the baseball or whatnot did not bring for you?
Well, so when you look at a sport is designed with a goal in mind of victory, right? So if we're playing a baseball game, I want to hit home runs. We want our team to win. If we're playing football, the goal of football is to score touchdowns so our team can win. Mm-hmm. And then when I was coming up through the ranks, they didn't have, of course, everybody played. So you were either a superstar or you were a bench player. So you just sat on the bench and watched, or you were a superstar. And so again, I wasn't very athletically gifted in that at that time. So the team sport really didn't appeal to me. So now martial arts is an individual activity with a team culture.
Mm,
So what happens is if I work out and do my martial arts and I train 3 4 days a week, I'm going to get back out of that everything I put into it. So it's me against me, not me against the other person. Even though we do sparring and some combat, where you are, facing off against somebody else, and there is a sport aspect to that at
mhm.
that moment, which again gives you that sports feel in the martial arts realm.
Right.
But it's me against me. Um, so that's what kind of kept me going through my childhood years,
Yeah.
and as an adult, it's you versus you on a daily basis, and it's fitness with a purpose. So, and
Yeah, as
yeah,
you're talking, I'm like getting goosebumps because I mean, I think it just so correlates to what you said of those life skills,
right.
particularly as where we are right now. And just, I mean, as being an adult, you really have to have those life skills or that competition with yourself in order to keep going. So tell me more about that.
Yeah. So, for example, and I'm not sure, people that are listening, but for me, I get up either at 4:30 or 5 o'clock every morning to do my training, right? And I am not an early riser. My wife would disagree. my
Right.
wife,
I
my
would
wife would
disagree too. Yeah.
my wife would disagree, but no, I set my alarm in the morning, and I do. I'm a one snooze guy, so one snooze,
Mhm.
right? So I set the alarm and I hit the snooze button and I sit there, and then it takes me about 10 minutes to contemplate every excuse I can find to not work out that day, right? I do, and I go through it. I go through it, and then and for me, because I have a purpose behind what I do, there's a goal in mind. It's not just getting in shape. That's a very vague goal. I want to be in better shape. Very vague. I mean, it's not a specific enough goal for me. So what I do is I set these specific goals, and those goals come back to me at that moment, and I go, okay, I have a goal. I need to accomplish it. Get your butt up and let's go do what we got to do. And it's just the hardest part is just one leg, one leg.
Right.
Getting out of bed. Once I
Taking
get out
the
of bed,
covers off. Yes, yes, yes.
right. And it's cold right now. We got the
Yeah.
heated blankets going. I'm cuddled up with the dogs. I feel great, but it's just that goal in mind and that purpose that I just got to get that two steps, one, two, and once I'm up, we're ready to go. Brush my teeth, do my thing, and I think that right there is a big part of it. Is just having a goal in mind.
What are some of the excuses that you say during that 10-minute time frame?
Oh, I'm tired. I want to lay here. My body hurts. Because there's that's that one thing about exercise that I think is the biggest struggle for everybody is that soreness.
Yeah.
That initial, especially when you start down an exercise journey, it's that initial like 4 to 6 weeks of, oh my God, my body, and so there's that soreness there, and really it's just a mental thing of, I'm comfortable where I am.
Right.
And so my approach is growth in life. I don't care what it may be. If it's fitness, if it's business, growth never comes from a state of comfortability. It always comes from a state of being uncomfortable, right? That's how growth happens. And so for me, it's like, okay, I'm comfortable in bed, but I know I have to figure out a way to make myself uncomfortable so I can become better. And
Yeah.
that right there is another huge component to getting me out of that bed.
Yeah. Well, I think you say something that's just so powerful because this is something that I share with my coaching clients all the time is this idea of, yes, wanting to lose 10 to 15 pounds is a goal, but it's not really a defined goal and it doesn't it doesn't connect to our why. Like, why would that matter? Why would it change your life? Why would it make your life better? And so we really have to connect with that deep, like that deep seated. And I'm touching my stomach because I feel like it comes from that gut check moment
Right. Yep.
of like, what does that mean for you? Like, how will it change your life? How will it make you a better person? How will it make you a better mom, dad, spouse, whatever it may be? So what, let's do, you highlighted that purpose aspect or that why, like that deep why. What is that for you?
Oh yeah, that's good. Very good question. So I probably have 5 or 6 whys.
Okay.
And so from a multitude of angles in my life. So um first and foremost, I'm a let's talk about me personally, just me on the inside. I have this deep, hard, tenacious desire to be great at what I do. It's if you want to tell, if you were to say to me, what's that one thing that defines you? I have a deep-seated desire to be phenomenally great at whatever I decide to do. Now I don't do much, but my skill set is very limited to this little bubble right here. I wouldn't say I'm a jack of all trades, but I have this desire to be absolutely phenomenal at what I do. So whether it be getting up in the morning and doing a jujitsu class, or going to my trainer and working on, my physical fitness as far as, my weightlifting aspect. If it comes to, me doing some rounds on a bag, or whatever it may be, I just have this deep desire just to be great at whatever I do. If I play a game of Monopoly with my kids, I'm gonna beat them. They're older now.
Going down.
Oh yeah, my youngest daughter is 21, and she'll be 21 tomorrow. And she'll tell you, oh yeah, when we were kids, Dad would destroy us. They would accuse me of cheating, but that's not true. but that's not true. But no, I'm a very competitive person in that sense, but I'm competitive within my realm of what I do, because I want to be really good at what I do. I have this lifeline, and I know that life is limited. You know, I'm 41 years old. If I live to 100, that's a good life, right? I've only got so many years left, and I want to make sure I capitalize on every single moment in my life. And so for me, that's a big, huge why for me in that aspect right there. Um, then the next level of that is the people that look to me to be at my best. I have a
Mm,
huge amount of people in my life that look to me they need me, I feel, to be at my best. So first off, we have my students, right? So we have, in our school, we have over 300 students in our school.
wow.
And so every student, I feel, looks to me to be that leader.
Sure.
So not, and when I say students, I mean our staff too. A lot of them are my students and their teachers. So I would say maybe my students and my team look to me to be our best, especially, with the COVID situation that has happened to all of us in 2020. 50% of martial arts schools went out of business.
Wow.
And so, and that's, I mean, just done, not holding on by a thread. I mean, and done. And then I'd say another 25% are really hanging on by a thread. And so I have employees here, I have instructors, I have a couple full timers that they depend on our school for their livelihood.
Yeah.
And they're everybody else, our students, our parents, um, everybody that's part of our academy. If you think about it, if you have kids, it's the most challenging time of your life ever. For every mom and every dad, I will my hands come up, and in karate we bow. I bow to every parent with a child, especially a child that's in school right now. It is I mean, being a parent's a challenge anyways, but
Yeah.
being a parent right now, is a whole different level. So in our academy, we've got parents that need their kids to have a positive outlet, positive role models. They need something that's consistent in their life. And if we don't have that platform for them, then that their whole lives are going to be, topsy turvy. So
Right.
part of that getting up in the morning and all those things during that 10 minutes, a big part of that is I need to get up to make sure that I'm at my best for each and every one of those parents, for each and every one of those students, for each and every member of our team, to inspire them, because inspiration, leads to motivation.
Mm,
And
for
if I can inspire them to work harder, try to be a better version of themselves by my actions, not by my words. I
sure.
think that right there is I love this statement. We're all exposed now. If you think about 30 years ago, 20 years ago, before internet, you
Yeah.
didn't know what the Smiths were doing down the street.
Yeah.
You didn't know what was happening in Arizona. You only knew what happened in your own community and what you saw in the news. Now, every single human being is exposed to the entire world. So you can't hide, right? You can't sit behind. So everything you do is out there, and children are smarter than ever before. They see so much and they take in so much, not just in their own household like it used to be, but through a multitude of media platforms.
Yeah.
So when I'm going to a student, I say, hey, Johnny, man, you got to work hard. And I'm not, I feel like a fraud.
Mm,
If I go to my instructor and say, hey guys, listen, man, we got to do A, B, C, and D. We have to be better instructors. We have to work harder. And I'm not, I feel like a fraud. So I need to be my absolute best for all my students, all my parents, um, everybody out there. And then I guess the third level after that, is, which is a very easy level for me. I call it easy level, is just being there for my wife and my kids. That's, my kids are older. So it's a little bit different dynamic. I've got a 21, a 23, and a 26-year-old. So they are, they're it's kind of like parenting from afar, right? So
right.
which is unique and amazing all at the same time. But
Yeah.
I have to be there for them. And of course, my wife, I have to make sure that I'm, she always tells me, you calm me, and you make things, when she's the one that gets a little riled up. I have the martial arts mindset. So I'm very zen. But in order for me to be that person,
Right.
I got to get up. I got to get my butt up out of the bed in the morning.
Right. What so this kind of goes into this notion that I hear a lot. Um I think from both men and women, especially as we're starting to talk about like taking care of yourself or that self-care aspect, is I hear a lot of people say, well, that would be selfish of me. What do you what would you share with that person that feels that way?
Oh, that's a great question. So I can actually get asked this question a lot. Um, and my answer to that question is this. It kind of goes back to what I just said. If I say I'm talking to a mom, I would let her know that your kids need you to be at your best. And if you're not healthy, if you're not taking care of you, how are you going to take care of them?
Yeah.
It's a simple concept. And you're being selfish for the right reasons.
Mm,
You know, it'd be like the mom who or the dad who goes back to school and takes 3 or 4 years of their life and has to, you know, dive into school and take away time from the family for that small 3 to 4 year period, so that the next 50 are great. So I
right.
mean, in the grand scheme of things, a small little block of your time gains you so much more time.
Right.
And I can even take it to a next to the next level after that. You know, I have this vision of how kind of, and through time and history and collecting data, I see a lot of people go through life and they can't wait to retire at 62 or 65. Then they spend the next 10 or 15 years in poor health and then they die.
Yeah.
That really, for me personally, doesn't sound like a very fun time to me. You know, it doesn't sound like a very fulfilled life. You know, what if I were to tell you that if you were to create habits of living a healthy lifestyle that were consistent throughout your life, that you would be able to spend more time with your kids, grandkids, great grandkids, more times with your friends, more times with the people that are in your circle, and the value of each one of those days, months, years, decades would be better. Well, that selfishness is what you need. You know, you can call it selfishness, but really it's self-care.
Yeah.
And self-care is an investment in you, which in turn becomes an investment for your entire family.
Yeah. Yeah. I had someone share with me the goal is to be self-full, not selfish.
Oh, I like that.
If you can't, if you are barely holding on and you can't take a deep breath for yourself, you are not serving the people around you at the highest level that you actually want to serve them. And so it really, I mean, it's just so interesting, and I think it's really curious why, when we start taking care of ourselves, I think this has been something that we have not been taught how to care for ourselves, and that instantly we feel guilt and shame, and that we are selfish in order, like, for doing so. And so when we see someone else that's doing it, though, on the flip side, we want to know about it. We're
Right.
curious about, like, how did they get it to work? Like, how did they do this? And so I think you're saying so many things. Like, I'm literally like holding back tears here. I think that this just stuff is it's so soul enriching, because this is the stuff that really impacts us. And there's so many people that, and myself included, where I lost my father at 26 because of diabetes. And I'm thinking, like, how many years could I have with him if he had spent 30 minutes taking care of himself?
Right.
you know it's so interesting. And so I think it's probably why it's so impactful for me, because I've actually experienced it and I see so many other people that struggle with it as well. What was the toughest thing for you to kind of learn in this space for yourself? Like, what do you still struggle with?
Hmm. Well, when it comes to, well, for me, because of my martial arts background and pushing myself to the absolute limit, I would say for me, the struggle is overtraining,
Mm,
right? Is taking myself to an area that can cause injury. And I have there's times, there's days, for example, Monday, I'll give you an example. This is a great example. For some reason, Sunday night, this last Sunday night, I just had the hardest time sleeping. You know, I woke up two or three times in the night, which I never do. I am if you wanted to come get me at nighttime, you'd have an easy time doing it because I sleep like a baby every night. I am deep. I mean, once I'm out, I'm out. I'm in this like it's like I plug in I'm like plugged in. I go into like sleep mode and nothing wakes me up. So Sunday night I had a really hard time, and it was an early morning, so it was a 4:30 wake up, but I was up at like 3:34. So 3:30 or 4 o'clock, right in that range, and I'm like up, boom. Oh man. And so I go and work out, did a 2-hour workout that morning, 5 to 7 ish. And then I had another exercise workout with one of my instructors. He's getting ready to go up for his next degree of black belt, which is a fourth degree, which is really challenging. So I was doing a private lesson with him and training with him for about an hour. And then I was teaching. And so at about 6 o'clock, I told my team, I go, I got to get out. I got to go home. And so they're like, okay. So I went home, ate dinner, passed out about 9:30. And then the next morning, of course, there's comes that time to wake up. But my body was really overworked.
Yeah.
So there's that thing in my head that wanted to get up, but I knew for a fact on that night I need to take this morning off so I can be really good for the day.
Yeah.
And that worked for me. So I think my challenge probably is overworking myself to another level and feeling bad about it, and being, but I got to be okay with that. I have to be okay with taking those days off, because there's times when I train, I train with, youngsters, 20-year-olds, and they've got energy galore and could care less about conserving their body. And I want to keep up, because I'm 41, I want to keep up. So uh but I think I need to be okay with not keeping up. So that for me, that's my challenge, is being okay with taking a day off.
Yeah. Well, and it kind of goes into the idea of, like you said, it is a journey. And throughout our journey, it does look different just based on a lot of different variables. And as we get older, it does, it should shift.
Right.
Our bodies do start changing. So then how do you stay consistent? Like how do you stay like, well, two questions, I guess. How do you stay energized to keep showing up? And how do you stay consistent with showing up?
Yeah, it's a good question. So how do I keep showing up? And how do I have the energy? I do a lot of live videos, and when you come in here, you see me. I mean, this is me, energized, relaxed, ready to go. How do I how do I put myself into that zone? I would say, Uh, for me, it's passion. If, for example, if you're going to work every day just for money, money cannot be your driving force, because over time that will, that will go up and that'll go down. I mean, you might be with a company, and we're in 2020 and nobody's giving raises, and you're working your tail off. If money's your only driving force, you're going to fall short and you're going to have a hard time getting to where you need to be. If we set our goals in that sense of your main focus is just the goal, and earlier we talked about the why.
Yeah.
If that why is not strong and that passion is not strong, it's going to be really hard for you to get up every day. So for me, my my passion, it runs very, very deep. It runs deep to where, as a martial artist, I would like to be known as the expert in our community for martial arts training. And and there's a lot of facets to that, because I don't know if you've ever heard, I'm sure you have, a good basketball player usually isn't a good coach.
Yeah.
Right? We Michael Jordan, Michael Jordan's not coaching a basketball team. And so normally you have really, really good martial artists, or you have really, really good teachers. And not very often are those two falling on the same plane.
Mhm.
So my goal is to be able to accomplish both of those aspects, right? I want to be known as one of the greatest martial artists that our city's ever had. And in the martial arts world, there's a lot of different styles. There's a lot of different uh, avenues you can take. I'm sure you've heard of all the fancy terms. You've got karate, jujitsu, taekwondo, krav maga. You have all these different styles, and usually you have a person who's a specialist in one area and then a specialist in another area. So my goal is to be able to have a wide area of expertise in across all styles. So the respect and the respect goes a long way over the entire martial arts community. So for me, that's a passion. And at the same time, being a great martial arts teacher who lives by example to his students is another big passion. Like I mentioned earlier, I don't want to be do as I say, not as I do person,
Mhm.
right? So for me, that those two main um, components drive my passion towards that. And at the same time, too, I mean, when it comes down to it, in the end, with fitness and eating well, I want to look good. Right? I mean, I don't want to look in the mirror and not like what I see. You
Yeah.
know, I want to look in the mirror and go, wow, I look very for me, right? I could, I don't want to say I don't care what other people think, but because I that concerns me, right? I don't want a guy walking by or somebody, well, oh, look at that guy, but but for for me personally, I want to be able to look in the mirror in the morning when I brush my teeth, when I shave my head, when I trim, when I get dressed. I want to be able to look in the mirror and feel good about being me. And so that's another part is I want to feel good, and so I can feel that I look good. And when I feel that, then my confidence rises. And if my confidence is very high, I'll be more productive, more successful. I will have more energy. I will bring across an aura that is positive and inspiring to other people because that's what people depend on me to be. So my passion goes across all that. All of that is like this little bubble, and it's boom, it's right here. And
Yeah.
so that's what keeps me moving, keeps me going, and keeps me going to that next level is that deep seated passion for what I do. And it's very similar to like a passion a mother or a father would have for their children.
Mm.
That's I can't really think of any other deep seated passion, but that feeling where it's like or like towards your parents. It's like there's a deep seated love inside your heart, and so my passion for helping people is that's deep inside me. And so if for me to be able to help people and for me to be able to inspire people, I have to be really, really good at what I do. And so that keeps me going.
Where did that come from for you? Because not everyone feels that way.
Hmm, that's a good question. Uh, let's analyze it together because I've never really been asked that question. So
Okay.
maybe I could look back at my parents growing up, because I think we can all kind of go back to parents and upbringing
Mhm.
and find something that has shaped us to who we are today.
Sure.
And so my parents were split at a very young age, right? So I was from a broken home. And my mom worked very, very hard at what she did. She worked for a company that was involved in the medical field, and I remember as a kid she worked 12-hour days. She was constantly working. And my generation, you've heard of the latchkey kid.
Yep.
That was me, right? So she worked a lot. My dad was a musician, so that was his passion, and so playing music was his life. And so I remember as a kid when I was over with him, man, he'd be on his keyboards. He was a like kind of like a he had keyboards and synthesizers, sang, beautiful voice. And uh and so he would practice 3 4 hours at a time, come out of his studio sweating. He was, I mean, he was, I'm
Musician.
as a kid, I'm going, man, why are you sweating back there? But he was back there getting it, working on whatever he was doing, to a point where I remember as a kid, he had this, and again, this was like, in the 80s, he had this drum machine, and he was a drummer years before, and he had this drum machine, and he made all his drum beats, all his background beats for all of his music. He just created them all because he had that skill. And so I guess if you took my mom's hard work and my dad's passion, and I was able to probably see that,
Yeah.
and then I think I think everybody has certain gifts in life. I think one of my gifts in life is to see things that work and see things that don't work and apply those to my life. you
Mm.
know
Yeah.
and I've been dealing with people my entire life. I'm a very social guy even before social media. And so I would analyze people in the world that were very successful, like why were they successful, and then I would take a look at people that weren't quite successful, and character traits on both ends. And and then we and this is again, we're on a podcast, I'm just going to keep it real. There are some people that we come across in this world that we just do not want to be like, whether it become things that they say, you know attitudes they have. We just find that one couple individuals in our life, they're like, I don't really, that makes me feel very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So so I don't want to do what that person's doing, and I don't want to do what this unsuccessful person is doing. I want to try to follow what the people before me have been successful at, and pick from those, and get all this great knowledge and apply it to who I am as a person, and then develop into my own person,
Yeah.
right? So memorize, internalize, personalize.
Ugh. Memorize, internalize, personalize.
That's it.
Gosh. So, do you think that everyone can do that? Do you think it's available to everyone?
I do, because I'm not that special, you know. Right? I'm just a normal guy. You know, you know, I think everybody, but here's what it takes though. It takes the right coach.
Mm.
Takes the right coach. I've never seen, you know, listen, I'm a diehard 49er fan, just to throw it out there, but Tom Brady, you can't deny his my wife's a Brady fan, but Tom Brady, you can't deny the great things he's done. The man's always had a coach. You
Yeah.
know, like this weekend we've got playoffs, and every single one of those superstar football teams has a coach. You know, so the thought that you can do it by yourself, which me being the kind of guy I am, and machismo at times, you know, I went through a phase where I can do this. I'm a smart enough guy to do it by myself. And
Yeah.
once I learned that I am smart, but in order for me to get to that next level, I need to bring on some coaches and some mentors within my life in order to help me get to that next level. Life has changed. You know, for me personally, you know, I have a couple great mentors. A gentleman by the name of Dave Kovar, who is he's my main martial arts instructor as well as my business coach. Basically, he's the guy. He's basically like Chuck Norris without the movies. I mean, you know, everybody knows Chuck
That's
Norris.
awesome.
You know, he's a great movie guy, but in the martial arts world, he's the guy. I mean, he's the guy that a school owner from Australia calls up and flies out to train his instructors to be good instructors. I mean, he's the real deal.
Wow.
And so I looked to him. I said, again, I want to find the best in the business. I look to him for guidance, and I have, you know, other mentors in my life that I look for guidance, and people that have walked the path before. Um, there's a term in martial arts, I'm sure you've heard of it, sensei.
Mhm.
I think everybody's heard the term sensei as in a
Yeah.
martial arts term. And most people think that sensei means teacher, but it actually translates to one who has walked the path before. So being a sensei means that you've walked down a path, and now you're guiding other people into life. I mean, so as a parent, if you're, you know, for parents that are listening and watching, you're a sensei. You know, professors, teachers, you're
Yeah.
all senseis. You've walked that path before. Someone who's an expert in a specific field, you're a sensei, because you're guiding those people down a path that you've personally walked before, and you help guide them. And
Yeah.
so I think that's, you know, I think that's important. I mean, I think everybody can do it. You know, but again, looking to a coach, I think, is huge and important, in every aspect, whether it be fitness, health, um, or business.
Yeah. Yeah. We definitely have that in common. I've invested in three different coaches from business to, you know, working out to nutrition. I mean, it just really up levels you because and it's an ego check thing. I mean, for me it was a total ego check. I was
Right.
like, I'm good. Like, why do I really need to do this? I don't technically have, you know, you don't have to and you don't need to, but if you really, like you said, want to go to that next level, you really need to, because it just makes it, you get their wisdom and they are supporting you. They're coaching you, they're encouraging you, they are pouring into you again so that you can continue to pour out to so many people.
I think people have to also understand the coach's mindset. A coach's
Mm.
mindset is to help you elevate. So if you're looking at it from a mountain perspective, the coach is behind you, pushing you, right? Where they're there to help you and to push you and to guide you and to propel you to greater things that are greater than themselves. And the
Yeah, yeah.
passion of a coach is just crazy when when you get a coach that wants to push you and help you and guide you to a different level. It's so empowering for that individual. It's great.
Yeah. One of my favorite public speakers, her name is Lisa Nichols, and she said this quote that stuck with me for so long. She said, "You make me extraordinary to let yourself off the hook." And I thought, what? Like, I mean, I kind of like was taken back by it. And as I kind of settled in with it, she's like, "You think I'm extraordinary because you now see like my success. I've been doing this for 30 years." And she's a very successful businesswoman. She's like, "But what you don't know is that it was the small daily practices that I did every single day to get to where I am right now that every person can do. It's not limited
So
to just
true.
a select few." And I thought, like, wow, like, yeah, sometimes we do. We say that this person was just giving, this gift or that gift, or, oh, well, they have a better situation here or there. And really all it's doing is building our excuses against ourselves versus creating solutions for like, okay, I'm here, I have this. How can I move to that next step? What is that gradual shift that I need to do in order to become a better person? So I just think that I think that's something that, we all struggle with. But to understand that we all are struggling, like it's not just, a clear path for these people that, seem to be successful.
That's such a true statement. And I get looked at that too because of the success our school has had. Um, and then you've got sometimes people say oh well you've had this advantage.
Mhm.
And I think that's so true. You have to ask yourself, instead of saying that can't happen or it's happening because of whatever, the question should be, how can I make that happen? How can let me give you an example because I'm looking around my office here. So we require masks, of course, for people to come into our school. And I will tell you, training in martial arts with a mask is absolutely horrible, right? But what's worse is not training at all. So, and teaching can be a challenge, especially because we're wearing a mask for like 4 or 5 hours. So, as you can guess, what did I do? I said, okay, how can we figure out a way to make this easier for us? And of course, as a team, we all figured out. I asked my wife, and so here's what she found. She found this bad boy right here,
Yes.
right? with a with a little whatever these are called,
Yeah.
right? And so I don't know
Full
what they're called,
screen.
but boom, now you can see my face, you can see my facial expressions, my voice is propelling forward, it's really comfortable, wraps around the ear. But instead of saying, oh, I can't do it, um then you made it happen. And so here's what we did. We had a parent come to me about a month ago, and she's like, Mr. Guido, I can't do it. Can't do it. Can't do the mask. And at first I'm thinking in my head, I'm okay. She's saying can't. I got to get her to think differently.
Mhm.
How can I do that? So I said, hey, come by the dojo. I want to show you something. She's like, okay, no problem. She comes in, 11 noon before we start classes, and I show her the plastic masks. I give her one. Here, take this, go home, try it out for the day. Tell me what you think. Well, I get a text message 3 hours later. I went to Walmart. I went out. I wore it for like 2 hours, did all my chores. She goes, I don't feel claustrophobic. We'll be back in the dojo tonight. And I was
Awesome.
like, yes. But it was changing that mindset, like you said, of figuring out a way how you can make that work. And I think when it comes to nutrition and fitness, I think that's it, is ask yourself, how can I make this work within the platform or within the confines of how my life is structured?
Yeah. Yeah. So, kind of going back to what we first started talking about from that lifestyle perspective, and really with your students, what are some of those? What are the lifestyle or the mindset shifts that you share with your students that you feel really set them up for success for life as a whole?
Sure, absolutely. So we call these the mastery mindsets, right? So there's a specific set of mindsets that we teach either directly or indirectly throughout their journey in martial arts. So first one is I can, I will. So it's a great good mindset to have of saying I can do this, I will do this, I will make this happen. So it's just tricking your mind to believing that you can make this happen. Um, the next two we have is going to be they kind of go together. It's deflect negative energy, accept positive energy,
Oof.
right? So huge, huge. So let's look at deflect negative energy. Now, people, one of the biggest platforms for people's opinions about the world would be Facebook. And I will tell you, I absolutely 100% love Facebook. Love it.
I can't wait
Absolutely
for this.
love it. It's great because look at all the people that I get to interact with and hear their opinions about things. It's great. It's awesome. For the most part, people are posting cool stuff, right? For the most part, I mean, they put somebody post a little, whatever it may be. It's a little picture or a little meme or I see all that positive stuff. But every once in a while, I come across something that's really negative, and instead of feeling the desire to pick up my phone and let me tell you what I think about you, Billy Joe, right? I just scroll on to the next thing I can find positive. It doesn't bother me because that person, I don't know their life, I don't know their world, I don't know what they're going through. They might have a really good reason to post what they did in their life and their surroundings and what they're doing. They might have something that they're passionate about that has compelled them to make that post. And I don't know their world and I can't judge their world. But it's a little bit too negative for me on a fun day Friday. So I'm just
Just
gonna
gonna swipe
scroll,
past that one.
swipe past it, man. Hey, man, do you, boo? I'm not gonna like it. I'm not gonna love it. I'm just gonna keep going on to the next positive thing. So we get those things in our life that are negative. That you get somebody talking to you and they're just negative Nancy about whatever it is going on in their life, and again, no judgment because I'm sure that some point in my time in my life, I've been that person on the other end of that spectrum. I try not to be the best I can, but I'm sure maybe during that one moment, and really I feel it's just a moment in time that individual is just having a rough go. And that's okay because I have the ability to deflect the negative energy at that moment in time, which leads me into the next one, which is accept positive energy, right? So like I see you on Facebook and all your videos, I'm like, oh yeah, let's go. I want to see this. This is good stuff, right? And so I feel that through the I can guarantee you on my Facebook page, I hit the button more than I hit the little mad faced person, you know, uh, by 98% because
Wow.
I'm just looking for positive things, and the negative things I just swipe past. I just and so the way I teach the kids is put up your Captain America shield, right? Deflect any negative energy. Look on this side, accept the positive energy, right?
Wow.
So I thought like those two uh, you know mindsets are crucial for being successful in what you do and keeping yourself balanced. You know what I mean? It's so important to keep yourself in a balanced realm. Another one is I put value in my relationships. That's huge. Value in your, and I don't mean relationships necessarily as in boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife.
Mhm.
I mean just people that you have a relationship with, you know, bring value to that relationship. So every day, for example, you and I have a relationship now. We're doing a podcast. This is
Right.
awesome, right? We're getting to know each other a lot better. I'm sure you knew something about me before. I knew a little bit about you, but through this situation, we're creating a relationship where we know each other better.
Yeah.
So I want to bring value to that. And it could be as simple as, you know, making your day and making you smile, right? My wife's so funny because because we'll be at a she calls it just my Guido thing, right? So I have this thing. Let's say we go to the Chipotle and it's 9 o'clock at night and the workers behind and they're like, all right, how can I help you? Burrito or bowl, and you can just tell it's been a day, right? They probably just got yelled at by someone that they couldn't hear. They got the mask on, they're talking like this, and they messed up their order. The boss just yelled at them. They're having a rough day. First thing I do is let them know what I want and say, "Hey, how you doing?"
Mm.
And they go, "Oh, it's been a rough one." I go, "Well, hey, we're here now. We're gonna make your day better." And from that moment on, they snap out of whatever it is they're doing, and then they continue doing what they're doing. And at least I could give them that one moment of somebody really cool that they helped out, you
Yeah.
know. And that goes to the Starbucks person that serves you, to the person that you're at a restaurant. If someone's at a restaurant, if you're at a restaurant and it takes them a half hour to get your food, or you go up there and they're taking a long time, I don't go yell at them. I want to bring value to the relationship. They're already having a rough day.
Yeah.
So I think it's important that anybody that you have a relationship with, whether it be the mailman or your Starbucks person or someone on Facebook or even of course, your family, your friends, just to bring value to that. So we teach that. That's important to have that type of mindset that you're bringing value to relationships. Um, Another good mindset is my word is law.
Wow.
My word is law. So if I tell you I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it.
Hmm.
That's I'm going to stick to my word. You know, Years ago there used to be that thing where you made an agreement,
Handshake. Yep.
handshake, right? We had you get the old school guys, all right, we're going to make a handshake agreement. In our Rotary Club, it kind of reminds me of Bob Altoff, right?
Yeah.
He's that guy, right?
Yes.
He's that guy.
Yeah.
We're
All
gonna
the
shake,
big hug.
right? Right.
Yeah.
We're gonna shake on that. All right, cool. And with him, I could tell like that guy right there is a my word is law guy. If he says to you, "I'm gonna be at your house at 3 o'clock and I'm gonna help you," whatever it may be, he's gonna be there. I can guarantee it. So putting that into your mindset is my word is law. That is another um, big mindset that we talk about in our mastery mindsets. I'm trying to think. There's a couple other ones that flood my brain. But I think in our school too, we have something that we say at the end of class called the black belt principles.
Okay.
And there's 6 principles that the goal is by the time you become a black belt, you have an understanding of those 6 and you work on practicing to put them into your life. Right. So, wait, can you still hear me?
You can. Yep.
Okay, good. Okay. So it's respect, right? Treat others the way you want to be treated. Pretty simple. Courtesy, be nice. Okay. Integrity, do the right thing the right way when no one is watching. Because it's easy to do good things when people are watching.
Yeah.
Very challenging to do things when no one is watching.
Yep.
The other one is discipline, right? To have the discipline, and that goes into what gets you up in the morning and what gets you going to what you're doing. I tell the kids, listen, if mom and dad ask you to clean your room, you don't have to want to do it. You just have to do it, right?
Yeah. It just needs
Right.
to get done.
It just gets it right. I tell them, I guarantee you, mom and dad do not want to go to work today. They'd rather stay home with you, right? Or some people, I guarantee there's some people out there that do not want to stay home and do work. They'd rather leave,
Right.
right? But you don't have to want to do it. You just have to do it and get it done. And as adults, we learn that through osmosis of life.
Yeah.
But But kids, on the other hand, are a different beast. They think that they if they whine and cry and argue with mom and dad about it, that it's going to put them in a better situation, and it doesn't. So have the discipline to get done the things that need to get done, and do them even if you don't want to. So that discipline aspect is something we teach. And then the last two, number one is self-control, right? And that kind of goes back to, not posting that post that you want to post, not yelling at the barista at Starbucks if they mess up your drink, not getting mad at your significant other for something small, but you've got yourself to such a high stress level that you explode, having self-control of your mind, your body, your emotions, right? And then the last one is called indomitable spirit. Indomitable spirit translates into an unconquerable spirit to get done what you got to get done. You are undefeatable in whatever your passion is. And that one there is my favorite one, because that's the one for me personally, right? Listen, my mindset is this. If I'm going to do something, I'm going to be great at it. If I'm going to do something, I'm going to be number one at it. I am not going to let anything defeat me, period. Right? That's how I felt when COVID came. I'm like, okay, come
Bring
on,
it on.
COVID, let's see what you got. Let's see
Yeah.
what give me your best shot, COVID. Let's go. And so, but I took that mindset and applied that to our students and our staff. And then they believed, okay, we can get through this. And so I think maybe I think as a parent, that's a huge mindset is in your home. If you're having a mindset of, okay, we're going to get defeated by COVID, we're going to get defeated by obesity and poor health, we're going to get defeated by the economy, and everything's I'm defeated all the time. Well, then that transfers over to the other people that live in your home, and then they follow that same path over the years and years and years. So it just takes one person to make that change, to make that mindset shift, and that can affect everybody in your circle.
So true. So true. What you focus on, you create.
Mm,
I'm a firm believer in that. And if
I
you
like
are
that.
on all the negative and all the ways that you will fail, you are going to fail.
Right.
Um, so how do you measure success? What does for you to say that you were successful, like what has to happen for that to happen?
Um, I have to accomplish what I set out to accomplish, or I have to come really close.
Okay.
Right, right. I have to accomplish what I want to accomplish, or I have to come really darn close. So, if I set a goal, let's say say I set a goal to lose 10 pounds, and I lose 8, I feel really good about myself. I don't feel great, but I feel really good about myself.
Mm.
If I set a goal to, um, make sure I'm exercising 5 days a week, and I do that consistently for a month, and then I drop off a little bit, man, I'm gonna feel really good, you know. And I'm chasing feeling great. I'm chasing it, right? So that's kind of that goal. I'm chasing it. So success is just getting to is getting to where you want to be or coming real close. You know, I small victories are really important. Small victories are so important. Right now in our school, so we have a list of techniques that, of course, every student has to learn, memorize, and they test on at the end of 5 weeks. But then we call it a cycle, so it's a 5 week cycle. But then we have a character development topic that we discuss in every single class. So right now we're talking about goal setting because it's the beginning of the year. So we're teaching our 5, 6, 7 year olds how to set goals, and teaching them what the difference is between something you want to do and a goal, right? I think what a dream and a goal, and then teaching them the difference between short term, midterm, and long term goals. So I
Nice.
think that's very important as far as measuring success is you set your short term, your midterm, your long term goal. So in the world of martial arts, we have a confidence building system that's our belt system.
Mhm.
So, and again, Nobody knows what the other colors mean, but everybody knows what a black belt is. So
Right.
long, right?
Very true.
If I said I'm a green belt, you'd be like, cool. I
Yeah.
don't
Good
really
luck with all.
know. Right. But if I say I'm a black belt, you're like, I know what that is. So that would be a long-term goal.
Right.
And then short-term goal would be to earn a stripe around your current belt that you have. So basically you have a belt, earn stripes, earn enough stripes, you move to the next belt. That's the basic 2-second version of what it takes. But short-term, right? Short-term goal would be get a stripe. Midterm goal would be to earn a belt. So by setting these goals and setting attainable goals and having people behind you to help you accomplish these goals will help lead you to success. And when you start learning how to accomplish small goals and you accomplish your midterms, and you accomplish your long terms, now you're in a habit of setting goals. Now you start to shoot for things that are higher. You start to shoot for things that are to the person who doesn't set goals, you're shooting for things that maybe to them might seem crazy,
Yeah.
right? Might seem superhuman, might seem extraordinary. And so I think it's very important to start off with those small goals. Again, this is how you build confidence. You achieve things, you achieve success, confidence is built. When you have confidence, you believe that you can, I will tell people all the time, I am probably the most uh, uh, ridiculously, insanely confident person you'll ever meet because I truly believe that I can accomplish anything I want to accomplish.
Yeah.
On the other end of that spectrum, I think I'm absolutely horrible at everything I do.
Oh, growth mindset.
Right. We in martial arts, we call it the white belt mindset, which is your first belt.
Yeah.
So, I've been doing martial arts for I think this is my 34th year. I'm horrible at it in the back of my head. Right. So I need to really push myself to get to that next level. So it's this weird mental balance, but you think you're horrible and you are.
Yeah.
Right. And then you start to accomplish goals, and then you go, oh, wait a second. I'm
Yes.
pretty good at this. Okay. I'm good at this nutrition eating stuff. Look at this. Hold up. Let me bust out my new recipe. Bam. Okay. I got this. I'm feeling good. Oh, I'm really horrible at exercise. I have no balance. I have no this. I'm out of shape. I'm uncoordinated. Okay. And then after a while, oh, I can I could do this. I could curl. I could squat. I could do things on one leg. Okay, I'm feeling better. I'm confident now, right? So
Right.
so so goal setting and success all are in this beautiful realm. And for me, that's just my life. I'm setting a goal. I'm succeeding. I'm setting a goal. I'm succeeding. I'm like, I come up to an obstacle, man. All right, let me rework this goal. I might have to drop it down just a hair and try to set this one. And you're just constantly doing that. And that, for me, that's success.
Yeah. Oh, oh. Mike, I seriously could probably talk to you for another like 2 hours. I think this stuff
Right?
is just so good. But
Right?
we are going to, we've been going for almost an hour. I can't believe it. So
Wait.
I'm going to end with this last question because I love seeing people succeed and I love seeing people give themselves credit and be proud of the things that they actually did. And I think that as a society, we don't do that very well because we're afraid of coming off as maybe too conceited or really afraid of what people will think of us. So really want to just, be a space where people can say, I'm giving myself credit for this because I did it, or I'm proud of myself for this because I did it. So what is one of those things that you are proud of yourself for achieving?
Ooh, that's a good question. Okay. I am really proud of the fact that I have been able to, with the help of a, a mass amounts of group of people, especially my team. Because I can't take all the credit, but I'm going to take this much credit that I'm able to build one of the best martial arts program our city has ever seen. And for the people that are involved in our martial arts program, they truly understand it. I mean, in the martial arts world, a large school is about 150. We've got over 300 and I think 15 as of yesterday. And we've got about 40 people trying out our program as we speak. So we're right in that 360 range. For a martial arts school, that is huge. That is huge. And I'm really proud that I've been able to do that because of the positive impact I get to have on people's lives.
Yeah.
That is the most important thing for me, is to be a positive influence and a positive impact on people, as on our entire community. So I'm very proud of that, with all the humility as I sit here and tell you.
Love it. Love it. Well, thank you for sharing that. I think it's amazing, what you are doing in our community. For those that want to reach out, where can they find you?
Yeah, see, our website is clovismartialarts.com. Right. The name of our business is Guido's Martial Arts Academy. And we chose that not because it's all about me, but it's because you can never forget the name Guido. Can't forget it. I have students, they're like, where did your kid go to karate at? They're like, Guido's the best one, man. That's his dad. So his dad said the other day, it was so funny. His name's Mike. He's like, where do your kids do karate? He goes, Guido's. Duh. It's like, you can't forget the name Guido's. So Guido's Martial Arts Academy, our website's clovismartialarts.com, and we're on all the social media platforms. I'm on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, all the good ones. Just look us up and we're there. And we're here in Clovis, on Shaw, between Villa and Minnewawa. So we're in the shopping center where there's a Ross, there's a Burlington Coat Factory here. We're right next to Ross, right in the little corner. For those of you that are from Clovis, if you know where the $2 movie theater is, or the $3 or the whatever that movie theater is right next door, we're kind of right in the parking lot of this causeway there. So
Yeah. So if they want to reach out, what would be the easiest way to do so? The website?
yeah, so on our website, you go there, it has all the information you need. We even have trial programs that you can sign up for. So you go on there and you input your information, and we have it's like a $49 4-week trial that includes a uniform, that we start everybody off with that, to kind of like a test drive to the program. I can sit here all day and talk about what we do, but once you come in and experience it and understand the culture of what we do, words can't even describe it or explain what we do.
Awesome. Well, I again just want to thank you for your time, and you certainly taught me so many things and put a smile on my face. So for that, I am forever thankful. And
Yes.
again, I think that what you're doing in our community and for others to serve others is just amazing. So keep doing it, and I look
Thank
forward
you.
to talking more soon.
Jana, thank you so much. It's an honor. It's a blessing to be here, and I love what you're doing as well. And you are a leader in our community as well, and you are a positive shining light for people in our community. So for you too, keep doing what you're doing. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks.